Jurisprudence and legal theories. Jurisprudence and legal theories. Introduction. Jurisprudence is a study and knowledge of the law that explain its creation, enforcement, and purpose for a better understanding and contemplation of law. We have to interpret the origination and theories behind it. The word jurisprudence derived from the Latin word jurisprudentia, which means knowledge of law. The Latin word juris means law and prudentia means skill or knowledge. Skill or knowledge. Thus, the term jurisprudence signifies knowledge of law and its application. Jurisprudence means the interpretation of the general principle based on which actual rules of law are recognized. Jurisprudence is concerned with the rules of external conduct which people are forced to obey. However, the general jurisprudence can be divided into two categories, which include the analytic jurisprudence and normative jurisprudence. Analytic jurisprudence and normative jurisprudence. The analytic jurisprudence talks about the question as to what is the law, while the normative jurisprudence talks about questions such as what is the purpose of the law. Some of the notable definition of jurisprudence is jurisprudence as expounded, expounded by jurists are as follows. As per Cicero, jurisprudence is the philosophical aspect of knowledge of law. Jurisprudence is the philosophical aspect of knowledge of law. According to Salmon, jurisprudence is the science of the first principle of civil law. Jurisprudence is the science of first principle of civil law. According to John Austin, jurisprudence is the philosophy of positive law. As per Holland, jurisprudence as the formal science of positive law. Jurisprudence as the formal science of positive law. As per H.L.A. Hart, jurisprudence is the science of law in a broader perspective by correlating law and morality. Roscoe Pound defines jurisprudence as the science of law, denoting the body of principles recognized or enforced by public and regular tribunals in the administration of justice. Law is the subject matter of jurisprudence. Since the latter deals with the study of law, Austin thought it is necessary to define law in order to establish the province of jurisprudence. The history of the concept of law discloses that jurisprudence has dissimilar meaning at different periods. Therefore, it is difficult to attempt a singular definition of the term. 1. School of jurisprudence. The school of jurisprudence have defined law in various aspects. Many jurists have attempted to define the concept of law in clear aspects. The concept of law shall be mentioned in detail under the following school of jurisprudence. They are as follows. 1. Natural school of jurisprudence, analytical political school of jurisprudence, historical school of jurisprudence, sociological school of jurisprudence, realistic school of jurisprudence, socialist Marxist school of jurisprudence. Natural school of jurisprudence, there is no consensus about the definition and exact meaning of natural law. Natural school of law is generally regarded as a law of nature, divine law, or the law that is universal and eternal in nature. It has been given different meaning at different points of time and thought. It is created by man. It is found through the nature of an individual. It is mostly influenced by religions. The central idea of this theory is that there is a higher law based on morality against which the validity of human law can be measured. There is a belief that there are certain moral laws that cannot go against without losing its moral or legal character. If legislation is not moral, it is not law. There is an essential connection between law and morality in this school of law. For instance, Locke utilized natural law as an instrument of progress. However, Hobbes utilize it to keep up the present state of affairs in the public arena. The idea of rule of law is in Britain and India and due process in USA are built up dependent on natural law. Natural law is external and unchangeable as having existed from the commencement of the world. Man does not make natural law. he only discovers it. Any external agency cannot enforce natural law. Natural law is a law which does not have legislation backing. Basically, it is an outcome of preaching of the philosophers, prophets, sons, etc. And thus it is a higher form of law. Natural law is also known as divine law, law of nature and law of God. Divine law implies the order of God force upon men. Natural law is likewise the law of reasons, as being built up by that reasons by which the world govern, and furthermore as being rooted to and seen by the sensible idea of man. It is additionally the widespread or custom-based law, as being of universal validity, the equivalent in all aspects and authoritative on all people groups, and not one thing at Athens, Athens. Ultimately, in present day time, we think that its name as moral law, just like the declaration of the principle of morality. The natural law prevents the probability from claiming any inflexible partitions of the is and ought, OUGST, is an ought part of law, and accept that such a detachment is pointlessly causing confusions in the field of law. The supporter of law, natural law, contend that the thoughts of justice, right, or reason have started from the idea of man and the law of nature, and hence the perspective can't be disposed of from the domain of law. Natural law can be broadly divided into four classes: ancient theories, medieval theories, Renaissance theories, Renaissance, modern theories. Ancient period, Heraclitus, Heraclitus, Heraclitus. The idea of natural law was created by Greek thinker around 4th century BC. Heraclitus was the primary Greek logician who pointed at the three principles highlights of law of nature to be specific, destiny, order, and reason. He expressed that nature is definitely not a scattered, not a scattered heap of things. However, there is a clear connection between the things and a definite order and rhythm of occasions. As per him, reasons is one of the basic component of natural law. To Socrates has stated that a man can distinguish between good and bad and can appreciate the moral values. This human insight is the foundation to review the law. He did not deny the ability of the positive law. Socrates pleaded for the necessity of natural law for the safety and stability of the nation, which was one of the major needs of the age. His apparentic Plato supported the same theory. However, it is in Aristotle that we find a proper and logical elaboration of theory. Socrates believed that as there is natural physical law, there is also natural law. In his concept of natural law, man has his own insight which makes him know of the thing whether they are good or bad. It is this insight, according to him, by which a man is able to inculcate the moral values in him. The only way to judge the basis of law, according to Socrates, is man insight. Through his theory, Socrates wanted to ensure peace and stability in the region, which was one of the principal demands of that time. According to Aristotle, man is a part of nature in two means. Firstly, he is a part of the creatures of God. Secondly, he possesses awareness and reason by which he can form his will. By this reason, man can determine the eternal norm of justice. The man reason being the part of nature, the law discovered by reason is called natural justice. The law should be reformed or amended rather than being broken. Aristotle's concept of natural law is different from that of Socrates. He divides the life of man in two parts. First, he says that man is a creature which is created by God, and second, he possesses the quality of reason by which he can develop his own will. It is the reason through which one can discover the principle of natural justice. Aristotle is considered to be the founding father of natural law school and gave this theory a very solid ground so that it can develop naturally. Rome, Stoics view on natural law. Rome Stoics, Stoics. Stoics view on natural law. Stoics was inspired by Aristotle theory and based on Aristotle theory developed his own theory of natural law but made some key changes and made it more ethical. According to him, the world is governed by reason. Man's reason is also a part of this world. Therefore, when he lives according to reason, he lives according to nature or lives naturally. One of the duties of man is to obey the law of nature as according to Rome Stoic. Law of nature is binding on everyone and positive law must conform to the natural law. Influence of Stoic theory. The theory of Stoic had a great influence upon the jurists during the Republican period, as many of the jurists started paying more attention to natural law. Natural law helped Roman people to transform their rigid lives into a cosmopolitan one. Sometimes the Roman courts also applied the principle of natural law in order to deal with cases that involved foreign people. In this way, natural law helped in the development of Roman law. The medieval period, it is a time of Catholic philosophers or logicians of the Middle Age gave a new theory of natural law through they too give it the logical basis. They departed from the orthodoxy of the early Christian father. Their views are more logical and systematic. The main authors of the medieval period are as follows. Augustine, 354 to 430 AD. It believes that what are states without justice but robber hands enlarged. D. Civitas D. The city of God. It also believes that natural law as a part of natural foundation of Christianity due to its origin in the Old Testament early church father Thomas Aquinas. It believes that unjust law deserves no evidence, means that man find out natural law by applying reason and studying scriptures of the revelation of God. Catholic philosophers and theologians moved away from the orthodox interpretations of natural law and gave a more logical and systematic theory of natural law. Thomas Aquinas defined law as the obedience of reason for the common good made by him who has the care of the community and the promulgated. He divided the law into four stages: law of God, natural law, divine law, human laws. Natural law is that part which reveals itself in natural reason. This is applied by human beings to govern their affairs and relations. According to Aquinas, positive law must conform to natural law. Positive law is valid only to the extent to which it is compatible with natural law. Renaissance period, it is revival of learning as scholar restudying Greeks and Roman instead of relying on sculptures. They look at the purpose of human life itself to exact natural law principle. The main author of Renaissance period are as follows: Hugo Grotius, 1583 to 1645. It is known as father of international law. Grotius built his legal theory on social contact. His view in brief is that political society rests on a social contact. It is the duty of the sovereign to safeguard the citizens because the form was given power only for that purpose. In the concept of natural law advocated by Grotius, there is inconsistency. Grotius says a regular must follow the ruler. Grotius says a ruler must follow the natural law, and on the other hand, he argues that the ruler should not be disobeyed. However, it was evident that Grotius feared the stability of political order and maintenance of international peace, which was the need of that particular point of time. Thomas Hobbes, it was a supporter of absolute power of the ruler, and subject has no right against the sovereign. John Locke, 1632 to 1704, John Locke too recognized the existence of certain inalienable natural rights. He categorized them as life, liberty, and state property. Locke's social contract is based upon liberalism. According to Rousseau, man by nature never thinks, and he is a corrupt creature. Man by nature never thinks, and you who think is a corrupt creature. He believed that the state of nature was an idyllic state whereas man did not reason things out and lived in absolute liberty with a free mind. Immanuel Kant, IMANUEL, 1724-1804. He emphasized that the basis of social contract was reason, but Kant gave a sharp distinction between natural law rights and acquired right, and recognized only one natural right, that is the right to freedom. Hegel also plays a vital important role in natural law school of Hegelianism, Aristotle of modern times. It is the most prominent philosophy of the philosophical school jurist, and it also give their theory in which they said that state and law is a reason of growth of the human logic. Modern period, 19th century, unfavorable to natural law. Modern period, 19th century, unfavorable to natural law. The decline of natural law theories took place in the 18th, 19th century with the advancement of empirical method to study and scientific behavior. Natural law theories were denounced primarily because its source was said to be a divine entity. The profounder Austin rejected natural law on the ground that it was ambiguous and misleading, and mercilessly criticized the natural law school as simple nonsense, natural and imprescriptible right, rhetorical nonsense upon stilts. 20th century, the revival of natural. Towards the end of 19th century, a revival of natural law theories took place. It was due to many reasons. The reaction against 19th century legal theories, which had exaggerated the importance of positive law, was due, and theories which overemphasized positivism failed to satisfy the aspirations of the people because of their refused to accept morality and reason as an element of law. Secondly, it was realized that abstract thinking or a prior assumption were not completely futile. Thirdly, the impact of materialism on society and the changed socio-political condition compelled the 20th century level thinker to look for some value-oriented ideology which could prevent general moral degradations of the people. The main author of the 19th century, the revival of natural law, are as follows: Hugo Grotius, 1853-1645. In the concept of natural law advocated by Grotius, there is inconsistency. Grotius says a ruler must follow the natural law, and on the other hand, he argues that the ruler should not be disobeyed. However, it was evident that Grotius feared the stability of political order and maintenance of international peace, which was the need of that particular point of time. Rudolf Stummler, 1856 to 1938. Stummler defined law as species of will or others regarding self-authoritative and inviolable. For him, a just law was the highest expression of man. Stummler described the law as a species of will, other looking self-authoritative and inviolable. For him, the greatest expression of the social existence of man was a just law aimed at preserving individuals' freedom. According to him, the two basic principles needed for a just legislation were respect principle, and community engagement principle. The law of nature, he believes, implies a just law which harmonize the aims of society. The aim of law is not to safeguard one will, but to unify everyone objectives. Kohler, 1849 and 1999. 1849, 1999. Kohler, Qhler. Kohler described the law as the norm of conduct that emanates from the whole and imposes on the person as a result of the international impulse that argues principle toward peoples towards a decent type of life. He claimed there is no eternal law, and in the course of evolutions the law form itself as society advances morality and culture. As early Hart 1907 to 1992, Hart attempted to restate national law positions from a semi-sociological point of view. Hart point out that there are certain substantive rules which are essential if human beings are live continuously together in close proximity. This simple fact constitutes a case of indisputable truth in the doctrine of natural law. Natural law Nepalese scenario. Hindu legal system is perhaps the most ancient legal system of the world. The Hindus established a logical and comprehensive law at early time. According to the Hindu understanding, law owes its existence to God. Law is provided in Shruti and Samritis. The Samritis. The king is to execute that law, and he is bound by it, and the king is disobeyed if it goes against this law. The Puranas Puranas are full of occasion where the king were dethroned and beheaded when they went in contradictions of the recognized law. To Analytical School of Jurisprudence. धन्यवाद. God bless you all. मेरो च्यानल सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनुहोस्. LLM को प्रिपरेसन हजुरको एक्जाम सफल रहोस्.